Hello. I was just looking down and see who's here. Oh, I thought I would reintroduce you all to little Rara. She is now 10 months old. Hi, Ra. Say hello. Say hello. This is my little Rara. Ra. She's 10 months old, Cavapoo. Anyways, I thought I would jump on and do a live video. Not sure if this is crooked or not. It's been a while since I've jumped on, and I thought I would do this video about consciousness because it seems so appropriate with everything that's going on. And I also get this question a lot about, like, Kiana, how do we raise our consciousness? And so I thought I would give you 10 ways in which you could apply these practices to your daily life and immediately raise your frequency and your vibration and your accessibility to higher levels of consciousness. And so what I think is most important that you know about consciousness is that it's always changing and that you are not a static human being and that you can change and move and feel and access different levels of consciousness all the time. So what is consciousness really? It's really, in my opinion, it's an access point to higher levels of feeling and being. And you might be, well, how do I feel better? What's a low vibration? And let me tell you what low vibrations are. Fear consciousness is a low vibration. Cancer is a consciousness, a lower vibration. Higher vibrations might be I am consciousness, God consciousness, unity consciousness, source consciousness. There's so many different levels of consciousness. And so how do you raise your consciousness? And that's what I want to talk about today. And I have 10 things that I think that will help you really see consciousness in a different way and actually how you can apply it to your life, like, immediately. So the first thing that I would recommend that somebody who wants to raise their consciousness do is to foster curiosity. Curiosity in yourself, in your own awareness and development, curiosity in your relationships. Ask questions in your relationship, like, if you're a wife or a mother or a sister or a brother or a father, ask how can you be a better dad? How can you be a better mom? Ask that to your children. If your children can talk and they're above the age of 5 or 6, you will be surprised at what they think that you could do that would make you a better mom or a better sister or father. But get curious, get curious about every aspect of your life, in your relationships, in your career, just all the different ways in which you could be curious. Foster that skill. Asking open-ended questions is really, really helpful. The other big one, and this is fundamental in becoming more conscious, is to become intentional in your growth. Like, be intentional in your day, in your meetings, in your relationships, just all the different aspects of your life. Be intentional. And that is really the foundation of really changing for the better. Being intentional, that's a conscious moment-to-moment awareness. When you are feeling stressed and overwhelmed, it's really hard to be intentional. But what you will notice is the more intentional you are, and as you become more intentional, it becomes more natural. It becomes second nature. So when you notice that you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed or irritated or frustrated or even angry, and that's not who you want to be, then you can become intentional. Like, oh, I notice I'm angry. Okay, I don't want to be angry. So my intention is to redirect my attention, and I'm going to go clean something, or I'm going to go exercise, or I'm going to make an intention to switch my direction. That's a huge way in which you can bring intention into your life. You could also make intentions for the day, intentions for the week, intentions for the year, the month, whatever. But the key about intentions is that it's moment to moment. The other big awareness that would help you is to realize that the only energy that really exists, and I know this is really hard for a lot of people, but the only energy that really exists is love. And so when we realize that everything is love, and that the only thing that's keeping me from experiencing that energy is my perceptions of what I'm seeing, then you can begin to challenge your ideas about what you're seeing and what you're experiencing. So that's a nice lead in to the next one, which is number 4, which is challenge your beliefs. Really look at your belief system that maybe you were raised with, that doesn't resonate with who you are becoming. Challenge those beliefs that no longer suit who you are. Be willing to challenge them. Look at them and realize that sometimes how you believe is holding you in a stagnant place that you do not like, but because you haven't challenged those thoughts and beliefs, they perpetuate in every aspect of your life. But when you start to practice to challenge how you believe and why you believe this way, and like maybe you don't believe that love is the only energy, so why do you not believe that? And you might find a lot of data that supports that there's other energies out there, but underneath it all is love. So if you could accept that, and then you can begin to challenge all those beliefs that tell you that no, love is not the only energy. Challenge those beliefs. I dare you to. Okay, the other one is number 5. Become a great, and this is a practice, become a great observer and witness. A witness to yourself and your own experiences, and also an observer and witness to situations that may be troublesome to you. Observe them, observe yourself in them, become neutral. And as a witness and observer, there's no opinions, none, no judgments, no opinions, just purely witnessing and honoring that experience that you are having. That is it. Become a great observer. That is a skill that I've been teaching my clients for years, and it does wonders, especially as we are going into the holidays. The holidays are a great time for you to become a great observer of the family dynamics. And you might learn why you have some of the beliefs that you have when you become a great observer. Number 6, find ways in which you can reduce density in your energy field. So there are so many ways in which you could do this. I host an energy recalibration where I address density of all of my members straight away. That is the first thing that I start doing, because if there's one thing that keeps you from becoming clear, it's density. So I do these recalibrations every month. So that's one way in which you can choose to remove density. Other ways that you could do is to process your emotions. So go in and notice how you're feeling. I've done videos on that, so you could process your emotions. Address some of the foods that you're eating. So for example, I just had a conversation earlier today. If you're going to eat a steak or chicken or lamb or whatever it is that you're choosing to eat, those foods have density in them. They're not necessarily bad for you, but when you eat them, you should be aware that they have high density. It takes longer for you to digest them. But that's not only the reason why they have density. They have density because they are beings. They are animal beings that have energetic systems within themselves. And so when you eat them and you ingest them, you're actually integrating their densities in with yours. That's how that occurs. That increases the amount of density within your body. The other thing that you could do is address stress. That creates density. So look at the areas that are stressful in your life and make conscious choices on how you might choose to eliminate them and or see them differently and or experience those situations differently. And the other one is inflammation. Inflammation in your body will create density. It will slow your systems down. It will make it will oftentimes be painful. So look at ways in which you can reduce inflammation, and those densities within your body are the easiest way to cleanse and then also have higher access points. So you just feel lighter and freer when you eat like something that's green and leafy, or you have a smoothie or whatever it is that you might eat or drink. Those, you can just notice density by how you feel after you have it. But to reach higher levels of consciousness, you must address the density in your physical body as well as your energy fields. The other way that you can address your levels of consciousness is to work with somebody like me on a regular basis who helps you see and experience yourself in a different way, helps you see situations in a new way. That's very, very helpful. Make sure whoever you're working with is an ambassador for light. And by that, I mean that they're really working with light energies instead of their own egoic mind and body. That's really important. The other thing that you can do is practice listening. This one's a really hard one for a lot of people, but practice listening to yourself, to others, to your heart, mind, spirit, soul. Practice that. That's going deep within versus listening to all those thoughts that you might be thinking over and over and over again. This will definitely help you reach higher levels of consciousness. And then the final number 10 thing that you could do to raise your consciousness is to expand your heart frequency. And that requires that you get out of your mind and you connect with your heart, and that you start to have more of a balance between your mind and your brain and your thought process, and also this energy center of your heart, which has its own resonance. And as you expand your heart frequency, you change how you see things. So one question that you might ask yourself is, how can I bring more love into this situation? How can I see this situation or this relationship from my heart? And if you are having a heartache, maybe you're upset or frustrated with a partnership or relationship, it's not going as you expected, the question that you might consider asking yourself is, how can I meet this situation with an open heart? Because often when we've been traumatized or hurt or feel like we've been attacked or somebody didn't meet our expectations, we try to protect our heart. And what happens is when we do that is we get very guarded. And when we're guarded, we can't access as much information, higher levels of consciousness, as when we can when it's open. So an open heart is a huge way in which you can reach a higher level of consciousness. So I hope that you found this helpful in your journey to higher levels of consciousness and being in sync. Yes, being in sync is definitely going to make your flow much, much easier. Cheers to being in sync.